Hello, friends. Our 18th story takes place in Northern California and is about a college student named Kareen. And Kareen is in the middle of her college career. And she is struggling. She is overworked. She is stressed. They once did a study on college students, and they wanted to see when college students tend to drop out. And they tend to drop out in the winter term of either sophomore or junior years. That's when things look bleakest. That's when students begin to question whether they're going to be able to keep up the pace and the intensity needed to reach graduation. And that's where Corrine was at. She wasn't sure if she was going to make it. And not only was she overworked and stressed, but she was desperately homesick. Kareen originally came from Hawaii, and she came from a very tight family, Christian family, loved the Lord, and she missed them desperately. And her thought was, and so she wanted to get home. She thought, if I could see my brothers and my mom and my dad again for a little while, it will recharge me and it will help me to get through these next 2 years so that I can graduate. Because as it was, she was having serious doubts whether she was going to be able to reach that point or not. And so that's what she prayed for. She prayed for just a way that she could go and see them, especially maybe even at Christmas time. But so far, it hadn't happened. There was never any extra money. And she knew, quite honestly, that her family didn't have it to give either. And so she's thinking about all of this at work one night, and she's just working away, bussing tables. And another waitress comes and tells her she's taking a break, and says, okay. And the waitress points her to table number 5, kind of gestures over there, then says, that man has been sitting at table number 5 for over an hour. He hasn't ordered anything. I think he's waiting for somebody. But at some point, you should probably touch base with him. She said, okay. So she went on break, and Corrine went and checked on her few customers, and then she went to table number 5. She introduced herself. She said, hi, my name's Corey. If there's anything you need, please let me know. And she turned back around, and the man began speaking. He says, I would like to place an order. So she turns around, and she's ready, and he says, I'd like some just a water and some nachos. And, she writes it down and she says, coming right up. But she is internally a little disappointed because nachos is the least expensive item on the menu. And of course, water, it costs nothing. And so it's literally the least you can spend at the cafe. And so she thought, well, there's not going to be a tip in this one. But it also gave her some sympathy because she's like, this man's probably broke. Just like I'm broke. We're just trying to make it. So she wanted to try to brighten his day, and so it was just extra kind to him and brought him the nachos as soon as they were ready and gave it to him. And when she slipped the bill to him, he promptly took something out of his pocket and not slammed it down, but put it down and said, keep the change. And so she picked it up, and it was $100 bill. And she was just shocked. But she didn't want the man to make a mistake. She couldn't have that on her conscience. So she said, this is $100 bill, right? And he said, I know. And she was confused. She's like, what do you want from me? And he said, nothing. He said, just why don't you call your mom tonight? That seemed like a strange response, she thought. So she turned around for a moment, about to walk away from the table. But then she went back. She turned around again because she wanted to thank him, and he was gone. Completely gone. It was more than 50 feet away from the door. There was no explaining it. He was just gone. I presume she probably got shivers down her back. She records that the rest of the night kind of was a blur. And when she got home, she put her things down. She turned on the TV and sat down to think of things. And no sooner had she done that, and the phone starts ringing. And it's her mom. And her mom talks to her a little bit, and she says, look, your brothers have worked hard and been carefully working hard, and they've pooled their money, and they've managed to get a one-way airline ticket to get you from California to Hawaii. Is there any way that you have the money for the other leg of the trip so we could get you home for Christmas? And of course, she instantly thought about that $100 bill that she had gotten earlier. But that's not going to be quite enough for a trip like that back in that day. But as even as she's saying that, on the television is a commercial from a major airline advertising cut rates from California to Hawaii and back again, $99 each way. So Corinne is just, she is excited. She's like, she tells her mom, she hangs up the phone and she says, "Thank God I'm going home." And and that's what happened. She got to go. She got to come back. She got re-energized. She was able to graduate. Eventually, she got married. And so life went really, really well. And so she recorded this incident, though, because she felt it was pivotal. And so her and now her husband, John, because she has since been married, she says every Christmas, John and I try to do something special for someone we don't know, to be the proverbial angel who was at table number 5 and helped a struggling college student that night. Sometimes they find somebody who's homeless, sometimes they find someone who's struggling, but they always do something extravagant for them at Christmas. Blessings and peace to you, my friends. And don't forget the important things this season. Take care.